My first question is disturbing that the Iraq construction projects resulting in the misuse of billions of dollars that should have been used to restore Iraq's economy and civil society. The key to making government effective, of course, is holding it accountable. You told the Senate Judiciary Committee in March that it's difficult to find evidence, such as documents or eyewitnesses, that are needed to prosecute cases of waste or mismanagement. The Iraq Commission on Public Integrity has estimated that there were $5 billion that was lost annually due to corruption. It particularly notes that Iraqi government officials are hampering efforts to curb corruption under a 1971 law that was reinstated by the Prime Minister, Maliki. He also ordered the Commission not to refer cases to an investigative court involving ministers or former ministers without his consent. It has been reported that more than 48 investigations have been stopped under this law. The Iraqi government is clearly misguided in some of its priorities. The bottom line, however, is that these are our taxpayers' dollars, and they're not always used effectively. What can be done by Congress, in your view, to help you increase the prosecution of those who wasted or mismanaged these funds?
Well, as I said in my opening statement, we are making a lot of progress on a number of significant cases. The investigative process takes time, as I've learned, but we have 28 of our 78 cases right now at the Department of Justice under prosecution, my discussions with investigators make me optimistic that over the course of this year we will see real results from those prosecutions. I do think that strengthening the fraud fighting effort in Iraq would be helpful, and a lot of that work can be done now here in the United States as well, in trying to track the corruption trail. But finally, let me say that I think partly because of the forward-leaning deterrent presence that SIGIR has exerted over the last 3 years, and has eventually teamed and partnered with Army's Criminal Investigative Division and the FBI over the last 2 years, that deterrence has been effective. We have not found that fraud within the U.S. program has been a significant component. By distinction, as you alluded to, corruption, fraud within the Iraqi system is rampant, and the power of the fraud-fighting entities to push it back is weak.
Thank you. What do you see happening in the next quarter for Iraqi construction, particularly with the implementation of the Baghdad security plan? I know you touched on it. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit.
We are going to look at projects that are being constructed as part of the Baghdad security plan. My inspectors have my charge over the next quarter to begin visiting those. There's no preliminary information I have to report, though, on progress of reconstruction within that plan yet. But in our next report, we should have some information for you.
Last question. When should we expect the 327,000 Iraqi troops to be fully functioning and efficiently protecting and securing major infrastructure, such as roads, electrical grids, and oil production, in your opinion?
Right.
Can you give us an estimation?
As a policy matter, that's a question for the Pentagon, of course, but we have looked at the use of the Iraq Security Forces Fund in several instances, specifically the weapons review that we conducted pursuant to Senator Warner's directive, and also our audit of logistics support, and found weaknesses in both areas. The weapons tracking system was not proper, but that has been remedied. The logistical capacity of the Iraqi Ministry of Defense to support its forces in the field remains a challenge. I met with General Dempsey, who is the commander of Multinational Security Transition Command Iraq, again this last trip, and he says there's been some progress, but they're able to manage their own food and starting to manage their own fuel, which was a big obstacle when we did our review last October. But medical care and simply movement continues to be a challenge. The other issue to address, of course, is staffing levels within those units. And I know the the Government Accountability Office is in the midst of a review on that front and is having some challenges in getting information on it.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it.